Freaks and geeks of horror.
All right, welcome back to the Freaks and Geeks of Horror podcast. This is episode 3. We have Richie Martinez, Nick Gervais, Paolo Alonzo, and myself, Hillary Arroyo. And today we are going to talk about the 1999 movie Audition. And it was picked by Nick, so I'm going to let Nick explain why he picked it.
Thank you, Hillary. I'll be honest with you. I picked it because I don't think a lot of people know about it. It's from 2000, directed by Takashi Miike. Essentially, it's about a widower loses his wife very early on at the beginning of the movie. A few years later, he and his buddy, who works for a film production company, hold auditions, but not really for an actual movie, but to find Oyama, a replacement wife. And they go through a series of girls, and he locks in on one named Asami, excuse me. And it seems cool, and then essentially all hell breaks loose, to say the least.
It's definitely like a slow burn type of movie, which
Totally.
makes it really, really cool. It gives you like a really detailed story of what is happening, like what he's trying to do, like, you know, remarry and stuff like that. And, you know, it's of course an idea of his son. His son's like, hey, Dad, you're getting older. You need a new wife type shit, you know. And that's when the idea came up, you know, the next day, I think after at work or something like that. But it's definitely like a slow burn movie, and it's definitely very gruesome towards them, but there's definitely like a long, intricate story involved.
Yeah, like the first hour of it or so is Richie was saying slow burn. Definitely a slow burn. It's you're almost doubting. It's like is this really a horror movie? Because a lot of it is just setting up the actual audition, and him finding the girl that he thinks is the one he likes. You know, before the audition even happens, the main character kind of just looks at a picture of Asami and just kind of immediately is like, this is the one. You know, she practices dance. I think, you know, she got injured, and all these little details in her profile kind of made it seem like before I even met this woman, this is gonna be the one.
I think he saw like a similarity. Like, he lost his wife, she lost the love of her life, which is dance, and I feel that's how he found another connection with her. He's all like, she's beautiful, everything, but we have something in common. We lost the love of our lives, you know?
Right, 100%. So there's probably some bonding there. And then, yeah, like the last third of the movie or so, the last like 30 minutes, it's some of the most intense, you know, gnarly torture scenes, and it just kind of devolves into something that is really terrifying. There's, you know, weird dreamlike sequences that kind of has you guessing if things are really happening or not. You know, and part of that I think is they're trying to convey how, you know, there's a point where Asami actually drugs Aoyama. He drugs a few times. And I think eventually it all just kind of catches up with him, and he's, you know, I think to convey that they show that panning back and forth between the present and the past and stuff that, you know, at one point he even appears in her apartment and finds the guy in the sack, and it's, you know, it's just going all over the place.
One thing about it is, what kind of drugs did she give him? Because that's gnarly as hell. Like, yeah, the way he got drugged. That must have been some heavy shit.
Yeah, he was tripping.
He was tripping. Hard. That was like some LSD type of trip for sure.
Yeah, not only were they hallucinating, I feel like he was, you know, he's paralyzed. He can still feel stuff. It's you know, like a living hell almost already.
It's like the perfect like drug for someone to torture you with. Like, you can't move at all, but you're gonna feel everything I do, like under your eyelids.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
and see, for me, that's one of like my biggest fears. Like, I mean, razor needles, anything in your eye while that's crazy. That's like one of the gnarliest things you could ever imagine. Like, I mean, since I was a kid, that was one of my biggest fears, you know, like getting a razor in my eye or getting
paper cut
in your eye. That's just always like, oh. So just watching her sticking the needles in his eye is
The eye
3
stuff was
each.
gnarly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was insane. And then she was doing the acupuncture on his stomach. And you notice the happiest she was in that entire movie, which when she's like, the right one's next. She's still smiling and throws the other foot against the wall.
Yeah, it's the only time she really seems to come alive because, like, why does he get so fixated on her in the first place? Up until the very end, she seems like she is almost like sickly weak, malnourished, half awake. Pretty boring, honestly, but he's addicted to her. For some reason. He finds her like strong because she's been through so much trauma. And then she comes alive at the end of the movie, and it's because she's torturing the heck out of him. And she's suddenly this beautiful creature, honestly. Like, she goes from being so boring to just being vivacious almost.
Yeah. And honestly, like, it feels like she has like a, beef with men. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Like, she's beefing with
100%.
guys because of her stepdad.
Here,
That was one of
I
the.
don't think we really know. It was her uncle. But then she talks about like there was somebody else abused her. Her story kind of goes back and forth. Leads you to think she's not being honest.
For sure.
But then she says at the end, remember, you call up all these girls, you audition them, and you call them back just to have sex with them. All you men are the same.
Yeah.
But he was actually kind of sincere and like looking for her. He seemed sincere, but then you could be like, well, was it because it was something he couldn't have? Because he did audition these, women.
And that's
It's
the
not
thing.
innocent.
That's the biggest thing right there. Is like, that's kind of creepy in a sense. Like, that's a creep. You know what I'm saying? Like, in a way, he's trying to find love, but that's definitely not the right way to do it. I mean, I guess it's a time of like, now you have all the apps, right? Back in the days, you didn't have apps. It's
totally.
like, so it was the different ways to meet people. Still very creepy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a creepy. That's what you consider a creep. Like, he's literally auditioning these girls so he could date them.
Yeah.
Well, I think at some point too that Aoyama, I think he kind of feels a little ashamed of it. There's a point like before the audition even happens where he's going through all the pictures, and he has a picture of his wife that died up on the thing, and I think he turns the picture away, and I think there's kind of a little sense of shame in that. And even before the actual audition starts, he's with the film producer who kind of sets this all up, and he mentions that he kind of feels like a criminal doing this before it even started. I think once he met Asami, that all changed, and immediately he became a chatterbox, and from then on out it was he was head over heels. But up until that point, I think even he might have felt a little weird about it. But by the time the audition happened, like I said, he was in, and she did such a good job of kind of sucking him into even the way he what she wrote on the audition to be like, you probably won't even pick me kind of stuff. And it's just like, oh, that's some
Yeah.
interesting little reverse psychology
Just
there.
to let you guys know real quick, the funniest thing just happened right now. So I don't have YouTube Primer or YouTube like.
Did you get an ad?
So we definitely had some ads right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed them. They're not sponsors.
Free
They
sponsor,
could be,
bro.
but eventually they will
Yeah.
be.
You're welcome.
You're welcome for the free.
That's hilarious.
Free ads.
All right, let's keep it going. Sorry about that.
Oh no, that's no big. That's
well,
nothing.
let's talk about like Asami's backstory a little bit, because she tells like a number of almost truths. She talks about the ballet studio she was at. She talks about the bar she is working part-time at. She talks about like the record company guy who's her like sponsor in a way. And so Aoyama, when he shows his real like how hooked on her she is when she disappears from that hotel room. Like, she's just gone. The next day he becomes like obsessed with trying to find her, so he backtracks her backstory and goes to all these places that she mentions in her bio and finds there's something wrong at every single place. Like, either somebody's dead or
she's
missing.
lying.
She's lying her ass off.
Yeah, totally.
Well, it all ties together too. Like or they lead you to think that. So she has a music director guy looking after her, right, from the record place. Says she works at this bar, which she really doesn't. But you find out the person at the bar who got murdered was dating somebody in the music industry, who presumably that guy from earlier.
Right.
And then you have extra body parts at the scene. So I think it's the guy in the bag is the record producer.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's like, I didn't really work for the bar, but I did kill this broad because he lied to me.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Totally.
So what about the ballet instructor? Like, Aoyama finds him in this condemned ballet studio, and he's in a wheelchair, and there's something messed up with his feet.
I think.
Does anybody know why? Because I lost track.
So, you go. So my theory, he walks in, guy's playing the piano. He's got the hot pokers right there already ready. He's got the pair of ballet shoes just sitting there on the back of his chair, and he turns around and he goes up, and he's like, after Oyama asks, have you seen her? She any trouble? He's like, oh, if you touched her, have you seen her? Have you smelled her? It makes me think that he obviously abused her early on.
Yes.
She cut off, because notice she got burned, but she only had one burn mark. Only one.
Right.
It's one set.
It's not going to happen a lot.
And he's sitting in there, presumably, because he didn't see when he burned her when she was young, whether he had the feet or not, but he's on his knees. Presumably she cut off his feet, dipped, and he's just sitting there waiting for her because he's like that obsessed and twisted.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got, that's.
I think that she might have been the one that took it off, with the wire, like she killed, took off the head.
Yeah. Yeah, right
at the piano.
She eventually rips his head off with the piano wire.
Sorry, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Which is a pretty cool weapon, by the way.
Yeah, that is one of the cooler weapons, but that definitely made me feel some sort of like Art the Clown type of vibes,
Yeah.
Kind of kill.
Yeah.
Or the opposite, right? Art the Clown made me feel like a Asuyami type of kill.
Yeah. She did come first. So let's see. A lot of people got killed. A lot of people end up... Asami. Yes. Asami. So what would you say is the most disturbing moment in the film?
So for me, I think it's one of the cooler scenes, but it's disturbing because it's about to happen, is when the phone call happens, the bag's in the floor. She sees she hears the phone and she just smiles, that creepy smile, and that's like it's about to go down.
And that's when the sack starts rolling around too.
Yes.
It's like, what the heck's in there?
So
Because you have no idea what it is.
That in itself made it like it's a powerful scene,
Yeah, that one's great.
Yeah, it's very powerful. It's very has a lot of character to that scene, So I really enjoyed that scene, and it just as a single scene, that was one of my favorites of the whole movie.
Good jump scare.
Yeah.
It's almost like she's activated at that moment.
Yes.
Like she's just sitting and waiting for things to get going, and that's her activation moment.
Yeah.
Such a weird moment.
What was your favorite? What was your most terrifying or
disturbing?
most disturbing moment? That's a good way to put it.
Well, I'm glad you asked, Paul. I'm going to tell you right now. It's when the man in the sack drinks Asami's vomit.
Oh gosh, I had to walk out.
So gnarly.
Let me drop some knowledge on y'all if you're not aware.
Oh yeah,
anybody out there who
please.
isn't aware. So the guy in the sack's a method actor.
No.
So that was really the actress who played her name. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's really the actress's vomit in the bowl. Knowing that and watching it changes it up a lot.
Yo, that is insane.
So that was the most disturbing thing.
If I just smell a little vomit, I'm starting to do the. There's no way.
It was fake and it almost made me puke. Yeah.
That dude had iron stomach. Then that's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, that definitely puts that whole scene in a whole new light. That was honestly the one that I was gonna say too. That whole scene is pretty wild. There's so many, and of course the iconic torture scene at the end is pretty gnarly.
That's a given for sure.
That's just a given. The whole, you just say kitty, 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 and people know exactly what you're talking about. It's such a interesting little tidbit to throw on, because it's like, I think what I was reading was that the kitty, kitty, kitty part initially wasn't even in the script. I think what happened was the actress started whispering it while she was doing it, and then they discussed it afterwards, and the director and the actress who played Asami, and they were saying, I think it'd be way creepier if you just said it in a normal tone. And what do you know? It's one of the creepiest, most unsettling torture scenes that you see that it clearly just means nothing to her. There's just these the most some of the most gory stuff, and she's just delighted, you know.
You're right. I did not know that, and it was way creepier that way.
I was almost
100%.
trying to think like, man, if she was whispering it, it wouldn't have been as intense. The whole fact that she's just totally normal voiced and almost just smiling. Not almost, she is smiling. She's loving life the whole time. Even sawing off the foot, it's just she is stoked on it.
Yeah. Fabrice better pay us big bucks for this one.
Oh, Fabrice.
It's got a microchip to let you know when it's
New
empty.
vomit
so
scented Febreze.
Yeah, dude. Product placement. That's so funny, dude.
Well, like you guys stole all the good parts. Like the vomit part was definitely the worst part. And but you know what? She also killed Gang.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Which
Gang,
I thought
gang.
was messed up. Gang was so cute, and
Gang was a little doggy.
That was their pet beagle, and he was just a really, really sweet dog. But luckily, Gang looked fake as hell when he was dead, so that made it feel a little
Another
less
cool
brutal.
scene is when they kill her, like when she like when the son kicks her off the stairs.
Down the stairs.
Dude, he like
She goes flying.
she goes flying,
Oh,
bro.
that's
She misses-
Lance with her neck broken.
She misses every stair, I think.
Dude.
She just goes straight to the bottom.
He literally kung fu kicked her down the stairs.
That's one of my worst nightmares. Next to like a needle in the eye is
Yeah.
honestly just falling and missing every single stair.
Yeah, it's definitely like a old school karate or kung fu movie. Just like
She's laying there like staring at him, like staring at each other, like in the eyes.
like I love you.
He's like repeating the stuff from dialogue from earlier, but you're like,
Yeah.
is she or?
I don't know if you guys watch
Yeah.
anime, but in like true anime fashion, that's like her moment to have an emotional monologue is while she's laying dying on the ground, and then she just proceeds to talk for a really long time
Yeah.
about really sentimental things. I thought it was very iconic.
I definitely enjoyed the movie. Like overall, I would say for me it would be more like a really high 6, maybe a 7. And the reason why is the action parts of it were amazing. I enjoyed them a lot. Like the creepy when it actually starts like torturing and all that stuff. And the story is good too. But what makes the movie is the last 30 minutes. That's the powerful part. The first part of it, I would be like, okay, that's whatever, you know. But the ending is the powerful part of it. So for that, I give it kind of like a good 7, maybe like a high 6, 7.
I'd go along with that. I think a
Yeah.
solid 7 is pretty decent for it. I watched it a couple times recently, and truth be told, I hadn't ever seen this movie, so I'd always heard about the scene, you know. But it was it kind of like was shocking, and you can definitely see how it influenced a lot of like movies to come, you know, maybe the Saw series, maybe some Eli Roth movies and stuff like that. Hostel. It kind of gave a green light in a weird way because it was just so it didn't cut away when it was poking. She was poking those little needles in there, you know. They didn't really leave a lot to imagination. You're seeing it all, you know. But yeah, good movie overall though. Very kind of a psychological mind bender.
I loved it, you know. But is it my favorite? No, but it's a solid score. I would feel.
Yeah, I give it a solid 7. It reminded me a little bit of Kill Bill too, just the idea of a femme fatale getting revenge on the men who wronged her. So it's kind of a classic idea, and like I love how happy she was when she was torturing these guys, and that made it really fun.
I'm gonna be the outlier here. I give it a solid 9, maybe a 9.5.
Well, you picked it.
You picked
So
it.
you
You better
must
think
love it.
lovingly of it.
Better love it.
She's like, it sucked.
It's not just the bias talking. Maybe it's just like just like everything in it. So like when the director made it, Japanese horror deals with supernatural, right? So he didn't look at it as a horror. He actually was hoping it'd get marketed as like a romantic drama, and then the twist would be the violence at the end. And the posters came out, and then there's no way of that actually happening because you know it's a horror up front. No, it's just like slow burn. But it's just, I think it's just the little things in the movie, like right away, Yoshikawa, his buddy, knows there's something wrong with this girl, and he's like just ignores it, right? But early on, like you can look at this however.
There's a lot of red flags.
When he's fishing, I haven't read this anywhere, but this is my theory. He's fishing earlier with his son, right in the beginning, and he's like, I only go for the big fish. Catches a big fish, and he's like, this is too much for us, right? And then he's talking to his buddy on the roof, and he's like, Yoshikawa's like, life doesn't work that easier, man. You're being too hasty. Calm down. He's like, I can handle any trouble that comes my way. He clearly can't, which was kind of established earlier. He bites off more than he could chew, and I think he's kind of chasing her because he can't have her, and he wants to fix something that's broken. And boy, was he wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good
I
take.
did give it
I
a
like
7 out of 4. Don't be so, I'm like, that was a really good score. I'm not.
Yeah. Like it kind of reminded me a little bit of like a Hitchcock film. It kind of felt like noir at times, almost like a romance murder mystery. And I did like it more the second time I watched it. And if I were to watch it the third time, I'd probably like it even more. I think it's one of those movies that you'll notice something else, something new every single time you watch it.
Right.
And it's probably going to just grow on me over time, to be
Yeah.
honest.
So, quick question: when did everybody watch it for the first time?
Like a week and a half ago.
Like a week and a half ago, and then again today.
Again today.
Yeah.
Probably like 15 years ago, the first time.
Yeah.
But when I was at that age, I was like, "Oh, this is really cool,"
Yeah.
but I didn't really like look into the story too much. I can appreciate it more.
I watched it like 2001, and then I probably watched it again like 2009, and then I watched it again recently.
It shows up kind of like it.
Yeah. Kind of like it.
I like that. I like that.
So yeah, I've been watching it for a long time. The first time I watched it, I enjoyed it. I was more into like indie kind of style, kind of like foreign films. So I enjoyed it at the moment as much as I enjoyed it now. So it held up, you know, from then till now. It didn't get any better. It just established things that I thought about it. I'm like, oh yeah. It kind of reminded me of why I enjoyed it the first time around. So it's definitely worth watching. So it was fun, no matter whether I watched it then or whether I watched it now. Like it's still the same feeling that I got then. It still gets the same feeling now.
I agree. I watched it 3 times this week, and the third I noticed stuff the second time that I didn't the first. The third time I didn't the second. It's just one of those movies that you can. It's not cut and dry. You can analyze it and make your own interpretation.
And that's a cool thing. I know there's a book as well.
Yeah, it's based on a 1997 book, and I think it's an adaptation of it. I don't know much. I don't know anything about the book.
Me neither.
But yeah, it was based on some source material. Even so, I still feel like it's man, I don't know. It's funny because there actually are some even amidst the chaos, there's some silly parts, you know.
Yes, let's talk about the silly parts.
One of my favorite silly parts was amongst one of the craziest parts when she's sawing off her foot and she just chucks it and it just hits the glass window. I don't know why. It's just like it's just so funny to me. It's just
definitely
such a
made me
silly
smile.
little part. I don't know. Anyone else got a silly part that they enjoyed? That one, I don't know. That one kind of stuck out to me.
The sound that the needles make as she's pushing
Extra
them in, it's
squishy.
like squishy needle sounds. And I just
Yeah, those are almost like it's almost over the top kind of squish, but in a good way. It kind of enhances like the
very
feeling.
cringy and also not a sound I would expect a needle to make.
Oh, she hits the eyelids, and it's like an aluminum baseball bat hitting a fence, like ting, 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 ting.
Oh yeah, when she flicks them.
Yeah.
That was rough.
That's
was
a pretty
funny.
silly part.
All right, I gotta tell you, I really thought it was hilarious when the son came in, and she's like, she went from all being organized to like scurrying, and she's like, the best she can come up with is a spray.
Oh, the
She
spray.
gets a spray, and he's like, what are you doing? She's like,
Yeah, she gives the little sample spray,
Oh,
like.
yeah, get out of here with that.
Yeah. Asami's silly sleepy. Is it supposed to just make him fall asleep? I don't know what the spray is supposed to
I thought it was
do.
Mace in like a toned down form.
Even when she says like kitty 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 kitty, like I mean to me, like I mean not knowing Japanese, it just sounds funny.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, it's like, but that in itself is like kind of cute the way she says it.
Yeah.
But kind of like goofy in a way.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
I mean, even though it's like just because it's not my language, so it just sounds.
Well, it's because that's what I would say to call a little kitty over.
Kitty,
It's
exactly.
like, come here, little kitty.
Like, it's like, all right. So that was pretty. That was a pretty funny movie, especially the first time I seen it. I was like, what? That come out of nowhere, you know?
Another silly part when the teenage son brings over his girlfriend, and they want to look at dinosaur books together.
They're 15-year-olds just straight obsessed with dinosaurs, super innocent and cute.
Yeah.
But I'm like, really? That's okay. All right,
I mean,
fair enough.
Why not? Wholesome. But like, this movie inspired us to watch Ringu last night, and then we saw in that little kid's room nothing but dinosaurs. But I mean, who doesn't love dinosaurs?
For sure.
They are great.
What?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Nick.
Another silly part, now that we're straying away from silly parts within the horror part. Early on when they're doing the auditions, one of the girls comes back, and Yoshikawa's like, didn't we already interview you already?
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, yeah, but I've got more to say.
Yeah. She wasn't done.
Like,
That
Control
was really
freak.
good. That was really good.
love that.
Another little itty bitty thing, but like there was one part where I think before the audition, before everything, he was editing like a rock concert video, it looked like.
Yeah.
And the guy that was helping him edit it, he was helping Aoyama edit it. The guy was just like looking at the concert, and he's like, happy people don't go there. Like looking down on the crowd. I was like, what the heck, man?
Yeah, they
Look
were
at 'em
hating on
moshing.
the young people so hard at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Like when they're in the bar and the girls are laughing in the corner, don't they call them like stupid, ugly young women or something like that?
Yoshikawa was the
And
worst.
they're just having a good time.
Yeah.
Haters.
Happy people don't come here.
Yeah. That cracked me up.
So Halloween's coming right around the corner.
Yes.
You guys excited?
I am.
Of
100%.
course.
I am.
Yeah. Any big plans?
We haven't heard from our friend Trevor yet, but I suspect we'll probably just text him and see what's going on. But usually we go to that place in Point Loma that
Haunted tunnel.
they do a little haunted tunnel there in the neighborhood, and the neighborhood kind of is big on participating and being like a kind of a community Halloween kind of thing. A lot of the houses decorate. A lot of them have like cool little haunted houses or little mini things. You just kind of walk through the driveway where there's a bunch of little people trying to spook you. So we'll probably be doing something like that, helping give out candy and whatnot. And
Yeah, it's a tradition. And last year we were the Killer Clowns. And last year, Richie, Nora, and Jonathan came and saw us
That was
at the
fun.
tunnel.
That was fun.
And Jonathan was not afraid of our Killer Clown costumes at all.
He's a little. He likes he likes scary stuff. So he likes even at his age right now, like when we take him anywhere and there's like a monster, even like the Grinch, right? Like in Christmas and stuff, like we go to like this one spot and they have the Grinch come out and stuff like that. And he like cracks up and points at him and just like not scared. He's fearless. Like,
Nice.
It's awesome. Even today, before he went to sleep, he showed us his scary face out of nowhere. I'm like, hey, say bye to everybody. And he just goes like,
yeah.
scary face is like, that's awesome, you know?
It's just like The Ring.
Yeah.
What about you? You guys have plans?
I'm thinking, no plans yet. I'm thinking of going to the Whaley House.
Ooh, nice.
Never
Ooh, cool.
been.
Oh,
One
worth
time
it.
living in
Worth it,
San
dude.
Diego.
Yeah,
Is it-
it's fun.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, we did a tour one
Okay.
Halloween, and you can walk through the old cemetery
There's
there
an old
too.
cemetery over there.
It's all kind of just in the same little area, and it's worth it. It's really
Nice.
fun. You should do it at least once.
All right.
For
I've done the
sure.
Ghost and Gravestones last year. Actually going again tomorrow. Never been inside the Whaley House. So we're going to be doing that.
Right on,
That's
right
cool.
on.
Pretty
That is
spooky.
cool.
Heck yeah.
They keep it dark.
Good. I like that.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, so we just moved in this area, but we kind of decked out the house on the outside. And then we're basically going to trick or treat around here a little bit and then give out candy and stuff like that. Like it's our first year here, so we kind of want to see what they have going on. And
Yeah.
I was telling Nora, I'm like, if it's not good, we're going back to you guys the year after. So
Bouncing.
we're kind of testing out the waters right now. So hopefully, I mean, from the neighbors telling us it gets popping in here. So it's like there's
Cool.
a lot of kids around and stuff like that. And I love that, especially for him. Like it gives me that nostalgia when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I definitely hope that it gets very crowded and basically can't even drive around here. It's just kids running around and candy flowing, you know. So
It's like a block party.
yeah,
That'd
it
be
makes
tight.
it super fun. So I'm hoping it gets like that. If not, like I said, we're leaving this place and going back to you guys.
Yes.
Well, either way, I think we all got some cool stuff going on. Whaley House sounds fun though.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm
But
looking
yeah, there's-
forward to it, man. Never been. I'll give you a full review next time.
I never
Yes,
been either.
review
No,
to
there's a
come.
few different ones.
Okay.
There was another one. I mean, I was kind of looking at it. There's like that abandoned amusement park in East
there.
County, like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Marshall
yeah.
Scotty's one. Oh, you been there? How was that?
I kind of bumped it up, but all right, I'll tell you guys the true story of it.
Okay.
So it was me, Nora, and one of my friends, our friend Jacob Lee, and we're going and we're walking and we're like, it's probably the 2021 or 2020 at the end when everything's like kind of getting opened.
Right.
And we're walking and it's kind of empty. And we walk around the corner, and then there's a girl in her phone texting. And she's like, "Oh, boo!" And we're like,
Oh, come
And we
on.
just keep on walking, and she's following us. And she's like, "Boo!" And we're like, she just doesn't get away. I think she felt so bad that we caught her on her phone that she's trying to scare us.
Trying
the
to
whole way
overcompensate.
overcompensate like
That's
a
so
mother.
funny.
And it was so funny. And we're like, never again. But like I said, I think I've heard it's gotten better. But from that experience, I kind of don't really want to give it another shot.
I don't blame you.
But I'm excited to hear what you guys think if you guys end up going.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It just kind of showed up on my feed. I kind of heard about it through the grapevine, and then it wasn't until recently that I kind of looked into it a little bit, and I was like, just looking at pictures, I'm like, it looks cool, but I don't know anything about it. I've never been, so.
I definitely want to go to like Scare Zone or something like that as well.
Yeah.
Is that what it is in Del Mar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
That
never
one.
been there before.
No.
Have you?
I have a few years back. I think when they combined like everything in that place, I think because before it was just one thing. I think it's like two different things now.
Yeah, it's like Haunted Hotel and Frightmare.
Exactly.
Oh, they put the Haunted
combined.
Hotel there?
Is that what
Yeah.
they did? I didn't know
Okay.
that. That's cool.
Yeah, but I went the first year they did that, and I haven't been back. I had fun. It just wasn't like if I had a chance to go there to like Not Scary Farm, I'd rather go to Not Scary Farm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was-
Yeah.
That's hard to beat.
And it kind of like not too much of a difference in price. So I'm like,
I feel you.
So
I feel you.
I kind of want to find me a haunted corn maze.
you know what? I heard that in Carlsbad, the one they have there, they also have a haunted one, and it ends and it's for adults, and it ends in at a bar.
Oh, cool. So the one you can see
What?
off of the freeway?
Yeah, so
Okay.
they have a kid one, and
Uh-huh.
then they have like a adult one, and it's kind of like spooky. And then at the end, it's like a bar in the middle of the hay.
We should all do that.
Damn.
That sounds
By the Strawberry
awesome.
Fields?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we should.
Ah,
we should
that
all-
sounds
I'm
so
down, dude.
cool.
do it.
That sounds
that'd
tight.
be
We should
fun.
do
Corn maze
that.
either, let alone a haunted one. I'm down.
Yeah, yeah.
And then a hayride.
yeah.
Hey, hey, hey. All right. Anything else we want to talk about?
Yeah. So, I know we were talking about it earlier. So everybody has dressed up for many years. What has been your top, maybe even top 3 favorite costumes that you've ever done or worn?
Go ahead, Hill. What you
Okay,
got?
I'll go first. In kindergarten, I was a banshee. My
Classic.
mom made the costume for me out of a white sheet. So it's basically like a sheet ghost costume with my head popping out the top. And then she painted my whole face white and blacked out my eyes. And I had this long, stringy white wig. And it was pretty freaking scary by kindergarten standards. Like, all the little kids in my class were basically staying away from me. It was pretty awesome. I was really proud of it. And one year I was a very scary witch, and this mask really made me look like my face was melting off. And I'm obsessed with these long, stringy white wigs. It is such a good look on me. Like, I kind of think I want to do
Oh, yeah,
that this
one's
year
creepy.
too.
I know what you're talking
It
about.
looks like my skin is melting and like ripped
Dope.
off. It's so cool. And of course the latex like destroys my skin for real, but it's worth it. It's so worth it. Yeah.
It becomes reality.
It becomes reality, and nothing's scarier than reality. So, yeah, I'm probably going to do that again this year. It's worth
cool.
it.
Those are your top two?
Those are my top two. I can't think of a third one. I was a Catwoman one year, and I thought that was pretty fun, but not scary, but still cool.
A memorable one I had when I was a kid. I'll do one when I was a kid and when I was older. When I was a kid, I remember being Robin Hood, and I wore these. I had the little bow. I had the little goofy hat and the feather, and then I had tights, and everybody laughed at my tights. But joke's on you. I wear tights 3 days a week at jiu-jitsu. Unashamed.
Hell yeah.
And I think when I was growing up, or when I was older, I should say, I'm never grown up, but when I was older, I think one of my faves was, I did Chucky a few years. I had a goofy orange wig. Obviously, I can't pull it off with a bald head, but I always thought being Chucky was cool. I don't know. That was kind of one of the first movies that got me into horror. And I was always too scared to be that as a kid in a weird way. So once I kind of got over a fear of a doll trying to come after me, being Chucky and taking the power back, heck yeah. Like, what about you guys?
All right, so I'll do three. When I was a kid, is that the picture? It was a werewolf costume.
was
My
awesome.
mom
That was
made me.
tight.
Yeah.
Won #1 at the Brickyard Mall contest. Got a $25 gift card to KB Toys. Pretty cool.
Sick.
#2, actually, me and my buddy Justin went as a pair of, I don't know if it's Mormons or Jehovah's Witnesses. We had ties, bike helmets, backpacks. tucked in. Mormons. We went as a couple of bike riding Mormons. It was a smash. It was.
That's tight.
Did you stunt
Did we?
on your bikes?
No, we actually didn't have bikes. We had the helmets.
Oh,
And we're just walking around.
Helmets, no bikes.
Helmets,
no
no
bikes.
bikes. Yeah, it would be too much
Way
to carry
cooler.
around the party.
Yeah.
That's what we thought too. And of course, the watchtowers. And then I would say the driver from Drive, Ryan Gosling's character.
Oh,
I got
that's
the
a good
jacket,
idea.
but like
The
the bloody
scorpion
one
jacket?
after the
Yeah.
elevator scene. I wanted
That's
to be like
freaking
him.
cool.
I felt that I did a good job on that one. I'll try to find pictures.
Heck yeah.
those are my
super
top
cool.
three.
What about you, Richie?
So when I was a kid, I did my mom, for me and my brother, she did Beetlejuice, but she drew all the lines on the costume. It was just like a white, basically like jumpsuit, and she did all the lines, and we got like big old ties, and did our hair green with the spray. That was when I was a kid. That was my favorite as a kid. I still have that picture. Is one of them that one of the things that I remember most as a child is like dressing up as Beetlejuice as a kid. The second one is probably not in any particular order, but just ones that I like. Was Master Roshi. That was a
cool one.
That was
a few
really,
years ago.
really
Yeah, it was
good.
cool. You looked really good.
I pulled it off pretty well. And then last year, last year we went on a Disney cruise, and me and my family, and we ended up. My wife was like Batwoman. My son was Batman, and I was Robin, and that was like one of my favorites. It was like super expensive. It was probably the most expensive like costume I've ever bought, but it was kind of cool because I'm like, we're at the Disney cruise, and then I told the guy, I'm like, hey, can you take a picture for us? And then he's all like, yeah, of course. And then he took a picture, and then he's all like, he told my son, hey, like, he's like, I'm like, thank you, and he's like, what you don't know is that your dad's a real superhero. And he's like, good to meet you, Boogeyman. So he knew me from like jiu-jitsu. And I was like,
cool.
Wow.
I
That's
like, my heart like melted. I was like,
Oh, that's so
I
cool.
was like, that was really cool, you know.
That's
Like,
hard to beat that.
I know. I was like, damn.
That's
like,
super cool.
I'm like, you told my son that I was a superhero. I'm like, and a real superhero. And it just like, I know he like meant it in some sort of way. Maybe I inspired him or something.
Yeah.
And it just made me feel really good. And I was like, that was one of those like wholesome moments. I'm just like, damn. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
super
So,
cool.
Yeah, it
I
was
like
super
that.
cool. So
That's so
yeah,
special.
those are my top three. But yeah, man, that costume was expensive.
For not a lot of leg material.
yeah. I had the tights and everything, bro. It's on.
That's so funny.
No, but yeah, that definitely, like the Disney cruise is definitely the Halloween one was super fun. Definitely, if you guys ever get a chance, doesn't matter if you're a kid or you're an adult, like it's worth it. It's so fun. It's like all inclusive, and it's everybody dresses up. I mean, not everybody dresses up, but you optional, of course. You know what I'm saying? So we dressed up all 3 days at different characters. Like they also have Pirate Day or Pirate Night, and everybody dresses up as pirates. So we had like sick ass pirate suits.
Oh,
and
that's
then,
cool.
And then one of the days we had we were baby sharks, like yeah. So it's like baby shark, daddy shark, and mama shark. We dressed up like onesies and stuff. And then the third day was the superhero stuff. So
Nice.
it was definitely super fun and
Some variety.
Yeah, and you know, you get bomb food and just like a bunch of games, and you can watch movies. Like they have a big old theater, and then they have like Broadway style shows as well.
Oh, no way.
Like,
Oh,
it's super fun. They
that
have a
sounds real
pool,
fun.
like everything. It's you can't get bored there. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
super
Like
cool.
you could do something all day, and it's super fun. And then you end up going to a destination. We've been doing the ones that are 3 days, so it's like just takes you to like Ensenada and then back. But we choose not to get off. We just kind of enjoy the boat, you know, when it's empty. So
Heck yeah, dude.
It's like you had like 3 Halloweens.
yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
basically.
3
Yeah.
freaking Halloweens.
That's dope. That's sick.
Heck yeah. You didn't have to choose a costume. You got to choose all the costumes.
Yeah, it was super fun. And
Best ever.
yeah, like I said, if you guys ever get the chance of doing it, you guys out there, do it. It's super fun. Definitely recommend it to anybody that enjoys Disney and enjoys freaking Halloween, you know. And yeah, kids or no kids, but if you have kids, it's definitely funner because you get to see them enjoy it even more, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, I think we're on the final phase of our podcast here. I think what we're gonna do is play the game.
Play the game.
So I say we switch it up a little
All right.
bit. Maybe Nick and Hillary, and then me and Richie, and then the winner of those two will mash out.
Ooh,
on
you're
a
throwing
movie.
Hillary into the wolves right now, bro.
I know.
Later.
Nick is on a sick
Nick's on a
one.
sick one. You're out of here, dude.
Like, you know what? You
I
take
never
Hillary.
win anything.
Blind squirrel finds a nut once in a
I'm
while.
never
so
the
funny.
winner at
All right.
stuff like this.
All right, you guys go first.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
All right, ready? On 3, right?
Rock, paper, scissors. You son of a gun.
All right. So
Best out of 3, right?
Best out of
Oh, we
3,
do best
right?
out
I
of
get
3?
2
All
more
right,
tries.
I guess if
I get 2 more tries.
I guess if you guys
Sudden
wanna do-
death? Sudden
I
death?
guess if you guys want to do
It's
that,
over
best
already?
out of 3.
Okay.
All
I
right,
thought it was
23.
one. I thought it was
23.
just one.
I thought it was 2, but hey.
Whatever you guys want to do.
All
It
right,
was
let's
over
go.
before
Let's
it
go.
even
Makes
started.
it even funner. Rock, paper, scissors.
Damn, shut out.
Oh my God.
3 out of 5.
Lost again.
All right. I'll
No
go-
surprise.
All right, here we go.
We'll go all right, from right here. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Boom. Hold on.
2 out of 3.
Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Oh! You
All right.
son of a gun.
Me and Nick.
All right.
Ah, Nick won
Are
again.
you serious, Nick?
Yeah, but I don't want to do 3 times in a row. So,
Do the gentlemanly thing.
Paolo, I'm going to donate my turn to you.
Oh, you're so kind. All right. All right. Don't laugh at my pick, guys.
Oh, it's horrible.
I
Here.
am going to do Tremors.
Tremors.
You
Good.
have no idea how happy I am.
I
right now.
haven't watched that movie in so many years.
Oh, man, it's been so many years for me, but that and Child's Play are 2 of the movies that got me stoked about horror. And it's scary enough to be scary and silly enough to be funny. So,
Man.
love it. Hope you guys dig it too.
Yes.
Yeah,
We're gonna get
it's-
after it.
It's one of those movies that I remember watching as a kid, like still till now, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like one of those movies that's always in the back somehow. I could always something always reminds me of that movie,
Yep.
and it's definitely a classic, and I'm excited to share what we think with you guys.
Yep.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's
So-
gonna be super fun.
Please like and subscribe. Throw us a little comment if you have any suggestions or just want to say what's up. Shout us out in the comments. We'll respond accordingly. And until next time, we'll see you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And this is the Freaks and Geeks of Horror podcast signing out.
Peace.
Later, y'all.